Andy and me did this walk on the 48th anniversary of seeing Led Zeppelin at Earl's Court, a life-defining and affirming experience. We were out of sequence, of course, given that very early on in our Southwest Coast Path walking days, we did quite a bit of South Devon and some of Dorset. So today was all about filling in bits we've missed. And that meant a walk today from Exmouth through to Sidmouth, and then tomorrow a very short walk from Sidmouth to Branscombe Mouth, although quite a rollercoaster day ahead of us. Splendid conditions again in May 2023. I felt, Andy too, that the end of this wonderful experience was coming to an end. And yes, a huge sense of achievement, but also a real atmosphere of melancholy and grieving for something that would soon be gone, because there's nothing quite like walking the Southwest Coast Path. It has been an absolute joy from the very first step right the way through to the last steps we took on that beach in Studland in October 2023.
Well, Andy and me at the start of our little infill day and a half, we're going from here Exmouth across to Branscombe Mouth, where we did a walk back in 2021. So this is the mighty River Ex. It's the last major river we cross. You won't see it, I don't think, but there's a Great Western Railway train zipping down down towards Dawlish. So that's the River Ex, and right across now in centre view that will be Star Cross. Nice to see the lifeboat there. That's the Exmouth lifeboat, and out goes Mariner 470. What a day to be out on the water. And Andy's having a natter with the local experts. A bit of a salty old sea dog, no doubt about that. And there's a fishing one going out. I'm bloody hungry already. That's Moreton Road. There's a pillar box. Could be that terrace. Could be that terrace, you know. Well, on this trip, this is my first beach hut sighting, and they're very grand, but the other side of the road from the beach. So I'd say that's a bit of a disadvantage. Well done, Exmouth. Not seen that before. Specific place for hiring wheelchairs to go on the beach, a crossing, and a nice ramp to get down there. Good work. Well done. I really like that. Should be more of that, please. Well, I've got beach huts a level up there, like mini accommodations. I'm not sure if that's two. I think that's just one in each one, so, or some of them two. Different coloured doors, perhaps different proprietors, owner-occupiers, renters. So Exmouth has got a variety of beach huts. None of the old traditional ones, which I find at this moment in time ever so slightly disappointing. So I do love an old traditional beach hut. Quite a snazzy pitch on that roof. Oh, they read the drawings wrong. So there in all its glory is the Jurassic Coast Geoneedle. Right at the top, the Purbeck and Portland stones. No chalk. There's Jurassic Coast hopscotch, there's a compass. Well, I've just heard a volley of gunfire. I shit you not. So right next door to this holiday park is a firing range, and they're in there practicing their rifle shooting. What a bloody juxtaposition. couple of camp residents looked at me as I was a complete twat. I don't care. This is the largest holiday park I think I've ever seen. I told you I shit you not. So, just behind that hedge is the rifle range, so I hope they're able to shoot straight. And this is ginormous. Find this one difficult to love. It's pretty hidden away, I guess. But blimey, you're stuck in one of those up there, miles from anything. Every walk back is a walk uphill. Okay, if you're down this end, I think. So this is sandy or sand? Sandy or sand?
Sandy.
Sandy. And that's where the sand comes from, walking fans. Those red cliffs. And that, I think, is Budley Salterton in the distance, and we've got to get there, which means going up over that fucker. Bring it on. Here's the retired colonels. Nice looking practice swing. Let's see if the real swing is similar. Oh, this is another practice swing. Oh, he's lashed it, and that's gone right. And now we have golfer, I think the third person to tee off, I suspect. He has matching shirt and socks. So out of fetching. Stripes on the socks and stripes on the shirt. That's what I thought. That was poetry in motion, lads, wasn't it? Poetry in motion there. Yes. No leg movement. Seems very fairly satisfied. There's no howl of anguish after striking it. Oh, I've got a lefty. Always looks wrong, doesn't it? Oh, it's quite an elegant swing there. It sort of lost acceleration at the critical moment, but
It's downhill, so you didn't
yes.
to get too much height.
You have to worry about the brown shoes though, don't you?
Yeah.
Just not right.
Ecstatic.
I think the pink gins will be on him. And yes, walking fans, that is rifle fire. We can still hear. Oh well, I'm much more interested in this. There's a trig point. It has a bench socket benchmark, and it has the tripod fixing gazingo for fixing your theodolite on for doing the triangulations. And this marvellous trig point marks out an altitude above Newlyn, as Andy correctly pointed out, of 423 feet, or 129 metres in new money. We've got a long way to go, probably got about another 8 miles or so to go today, so it's 12:15, so there's been too much loitering by me. The last full day walking in Devon, fans. Quite a momentous day, really. Well, a lovely cliff-top walk across a nice little Jubilee field, which is very lovely and cool. And now dropping down into the home for retired colonels, Budley Salterton. Well, first sighting of proper beach huts. Nicely re-roofed. I like the boats on the beach, that's what I'm fetching. And we just walk straight along the front. That's it. A little beach hut detour. See you the other side. Well, I like this part of the beach. Let's not have to get on the pebbles. And there they are. There's the bloody sorted and pebble beds over there. All like that. Some pectin shells. Some bloody sorted and pebbles in their wall. Very on brand. Yeah, so the bloody sorted and pebble beds. I know walking fans, you want to hear about them, so I'm going to tell you. Triassic in age, when the great mountain ranges were formed during a continental collision 250 to 300 million years ago or thereabouts. Some very quartz-rich sandstones were buckled up into these mountains and eroded down. And the product of that erosion was a whole load of boulders. And those boulders were washed along by flash floods in the desert climate and beautifully rounded up to form the deposits we see now. And when the cliffs get eroded, the pebbles that were once entombed in Triassic sandstone sit on the beach and move around. And as any decent geomorphologist will tell you, the best form of sea defence is natural. Just continuing my beach hut studies. A bit too pastel shades for my liking these huts. I'm liking the yellow one at the end. I go for white with leery blues, greens, reds, yellows. I didn't have it fucking on record then. I've just done a fantastic piece to camera and I hadn't pressed record. So there was witty jokes, off-camera comments from Andy about distances, and I missed a lot. So in case I didn't do it, just done the Otter Valley Nature Reserve. Liked it very much, nice and cool. £15 million restoration project going on, which is good. And I was making the comment that DEFRA fund it, private company, the Clinton family, and the European Regional Development Fund. Well, UK can kiss its ass goodbye to any funding from that source in the future. But a very worthy scheme and an impressive nature reserve. I have a bunch of fellow walkers passing me by, and I'm paying no attention to them whatsoever. Because I've gone past caring about other people as I walk along. In terms of, doing my filming, sometimes I've gone past caring about them at all. So, suffice to say, today I'm in a funny old mood. I've got a protest to make. I'm a professional walker, not a pedestrian. I'll put my teeth back in for that. I'm a professional walker and not a pedestrian. So there's a sign here saying pedestrians. I think it should have SWCP walkers as well. We are a breed apart. Well, me and Andy certainly are. So there's some kind of construction going on here, something to do with bats apparently. Somewhat escapes me how. There you go, pedestrians. Bloody cheek of it. Well, we're close to that part of the day where I'm thinking of song for the day. And we're probably 3-4 miles away from that rifle range. I could still hear it. And that inspired Andy to suggest his song for the day was Wait for the Ricochet. A line from Char in Time, Deep Purple, 1970s. Deep Purple and Rock, I think, is the album it's from. But Unusually for me, really, song for the day is pre-selected, and it's nothing to do with inspiration of the day. It's inspiration of my life. So one of the inspirations of my life, and that is it's 24th of May today, 48 years since I saw Led Zeppelin. Andy saw them the same night too, Leo as well, my erstwhile friend, my other erstwhile friend. And on the 24th of May, a Saturday, 1975, for all sorts of different reasons, saw the greatest rock concert I will ever see. Combination of things, the end of teenage years, really. Moving to London shortly after the concert, having done my A-levels and doing well enough to get my place at King's. And my life changed from there on. And it has to be the opening song from that magnificent evening. I shall never forget the feeling of them coming on stage, the lights off, Nicky Horn, that magic, well, I should say Capital, actually now Boom Radio, legendary DJ, introduced Messrs Bonham, Jones, Page and Plant. Ladies and gentlemen, Led Zeppelin, your mother wouldn't like it. And after a little bit of tuning up in the dark, on came the lights and a full throttle version of Rock and Roll. The second song on the untitled fourth album, Rock and Roll. So it's the first song I heard Led Zeppelin play live, and the level of excitement was immense. So I shall never forget that. And it seemed kind of appropriate that their sign-off song as a live act at the reunion concert in 2007, the very final song they played together, obviously without John Bonham drumming, is his son Jason on the drums. The very final song they ever performed was also Rock and Roll. So Rock and Roll from Led Zeppelin 4 is my song for the day. Well, I've just crested a rise coming out of Budleigh, Salterton and the Otter Valley, and the rest of the walk lies ahead. You can see the highest point. I think that's slightly worryingly called High Peak. We've got to do that one. And that's Sidmouth in the distance, nestled beneath the cliffs that we roller coaster over about 6 miles down towards where you can just see the chalk coming in. Very much the end of Upper Paleozoic into Mesozoic geology. So quite a transition goes on here. We go into the Cretaceous period and stay with Jurassic and Cretaceous rocks once we get beyond Beerhead for the rest of this adventure. So there's our destination, probably about 4 miles away, and tomorrow's half-day walk laid out for us in a rather handsome pleasure cruiser, showing folks the Mesozoic stratigraphy of this coastline. I'm sure. Probably looking at birds. One of the gardens of England. I don't know. In some respects, it's almost too manicured. It's too picture postcard. I like it a bit rougher and grittier, and perhaps that's what I like more about Cornwall. Sorry, Devon fans, and don't think I don't love this. I do. I just prefer that slightly unshaven, unkempt, slightly naughty boy image. That sense of otherness down there. It feels too much like Tory England. And I have my problems with that. The country has its problems with it. Rock solid Conservative votes in these parts. You're to blame! Well, lovely buttercup fields. We're getting to Ladram Bay. And look at that cliff. That is called High Peak, and that separates us from the final stage of our walk today, which is just over there. That's Sidmouth, at the mouth of the River Sid, not the River Otter, you twat. That's all Triassic sandstone. The upper part slightly softer than the lower, I would suggest, or less resistant if I'm going to be proper about it. Lots of stacks, a few caves. Pretty classic bit of coast this. I'm hoping that our footpath wends its way up through those woods, because that'd be lovely and cool. So this is Lad Ladram Bay. So last knockings of the Exmouth to Sidmouth leg. Just dropping into the mean streets of Sidmouth, and looking forward to getting transported by Andy back to the mouth of the Ex, hopping into the Merc, hopefully not spending as long going home as I spent this morning getting back to Marlborough and the welcoming arms of my darling wife, who's come down for 3 nights, which is excellent. And I'm really thrilled about that, because that's a rarity on the SWCP adventure. Only walking half a day tomorrow. Quite severe stuff apparently, but it's only half a day's walk, about 6 miles. So then we've got the opportunity to spend later tomorrow together and all of Friday before heading back to BS 36 on Saturday.